T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Yeah. Not a game, not a game.
Me. Bam, bam. Me, man.
Not a game.
Slap that place, she scored 30.
What are we even talking about, man? We talking about sports here.
Hey, I know we had some talk about changing the song up a little bit, but I don't know, man. I think we got to keep that.
It hits every time, right?
Yeah, I'm not ready to let Action Bronson go off the top. But hey, we're back. It's week 17. We talking about sports is back. We had a little holiday hiatus, if you will. Everybody did some traveling. You know, you see Ron's here masked up. Probably got some stories to tell from the holiday break. We're going to get into some college football here in a bit, some fantasy football, as I'm sure that's why most of you guys are tuning in, and as well we're going to give you guys some bets. But before we get into that, Justin, what's been going on, man? Have you had a good Christmas break?
Yeah, you know, Christmas Day was pretty fun, or Christmas Eve, you know, that's how us Mexicans celebrate. But we came into it knowing what it could be, you know, and it turned out to be a little bit of a super spreader event, and just trying to avoid COVID, just smacking it away, get away from me, staying inside as much as possible.
Got your Lysol can?
I got the Lysol on deck just in case. But yeah, it's been hectic. What about you guys?
Ben? Yeah, I enjoyed Christmas, New Year's up here. Didn't end up going down to the valley since we were down there for Thanksgiving, but sounds like it's a good thing, man. The valley was wild. We got Ron coming up here masked up and shit.
And before we get to Ron, I just want to say Happy New Year's to everybody that's been with us throughout 2021. Thankful to have you guys here for the first stream of 2022. And Ron, what's going on, man? How's your 2022 starting off?
Well, as you can see, not very well. Not very well, man. I got hit with the COVID, you know, that Omicron, whatever you want to call it. I think I contracted it Thursday before New Year, before Christmas Eve. Luckily, bro, I mean, I'll be honest. Saturday I felt like shit. Sunday was my first day, the day after Christmas, where I was like, fuck, bro, I was dying. But I mean, that's a bad word to say, right? But that's, you know, kind of how it felt. But
you weren't feeling good.
Regardless of it, you know, Monday I felt good. The last 3 days I've actually felt fine, man. But you just know your body, and I don't physically feel it. I do have a little congestion, but I just know that I still have this motherfucker, man. And I got tested Friday, which was my 5th day. The first day I tested positive was Monday morning. I tested again Friday, and I still had it, man. And it's just like it's like this sinus infection that doesn't go away. It's like this little like lingering.
I was gonna say I can hear it in your sinuses right now.
I hear it.
Yeah, it's just like this little lingering headache, man. I mean, gracias a Dios, I am double vaccinated. I didn't really have any trouble, you know, breathing or anything, you know, significant like that, you know, which I.
So what were your symptoms really? Just a sinus issue?
No, man. I mean, the first Saturday night, it was just a scratch in my throat. I started there, and then Sunday it was just the body aches, the shoulder pain, the back pain, the headache, the fever. I hit 102.8. I almost hit 103 fever. So that's when it started to get a little dicey, man. But
dicey.
Yeah, my chick loaded me up on, you know, some meds, and then like from Sunday night to Monday, it was just like boom. You know, I felt way better. We go testing Monday, test positive. But other than that, I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, talk too much on it. I haven't felt too bad, but I have been locked up in the fucking room, man. Just caffeine.
I was gonna say you're there in your room.
Are you retested or anything?
In the war room.
Yeah, I retested in the war room. I like that. I retested Friday, Justin, and I still tested positive. If I were to go test right now, 7 days later, I think I'd still test positive, man, to be honest. So I just hope that it's not as gotcha with the symptoms, I think, as maybe the first wave. But this, I just hope it doesn't stick around, you know, where you have to go test negative to go back to work and all that shit, and it never leaves your system, man. That's what I'm
long COVID
kind
is what
of
they
worried
call it.
about. Yeah, man, because I'm trying to go back to work, fool. You know, I'm going to Vegas at the end of the month, see how skated. So I need to stack up on some cash, man.
Yeah, I feel you.
gotcha.
And like Alex says here below, you're going to be giving us your best Stephen A. impression today. As you know, he showed up to First Take all last week with COVID. He looked like he wasn't enjoying himself, but he was there. But Ron's here. He's all smiles.
Really?
Yeah, well, not in office. He was streaming like Ron is from his house or somewhere confined. But
from the war
Ron has a smile on his face, and I think it's because, you know, he's been watching some college football all weekend. He's been capping these games, and the two big ones were on New Year's Eve. It was Bama versus Cincy. Cincinnati, the Group of 5 team that finally made it into the college football playoff. It was the biggest game in the Group of 5 history, if you will, and they got blown out 27-6, but it was respectable. And then Georgia, they took care of business, blew Michigan out of the water, wire to wire, 34-11. Sets up the rematch. Are you guys looking forward to the rematch more than you were the first one? Ben, I know you have some strong opinions about the Georgia football team and how you feel about them. So are you looking forward to this rematch?
I'm looking forward to it. Shit, before either team had even won, me and Josh, a friend of the podcast, already had a $50 bet on the rematch, Alabama against Georgia. And to be honest, I didn't expect the line to open up, you know, where it is right now with Georgia, the team that Alabama pretty much whooped on, you know, and little brothered in the SEC title game. Georgia's the favorite. So I knew that Georgia was going to come out aggressive and desperate just to get that bad taste out of their mouth, because they had to sit on that SEC loss for what, about a month?
Yep.
About a month. And the last time everybody saw Georgia, they were like, nope, same old Georgia, Kirby Smart, can't get it done. You know, Michigan had a lot of hype after what they did in the Big Ten title game to Ohio State, but they took care of them, man. And my sentiments haven't gone away. I think that Alabama got Georgia on that night, but Georgia will win the national title.
Fuck no, dog.
What about you, Justin? I know you're in the SEC trenches week in and week out in this college football season. What do you see in the rematch?
Just first off, I feel a little justified that this is the situation in the national championship. On the podcast a few weeks ago, I tried to bring up the fact that these teams could potentially play each other twice. Kind of got shut down on it a little bit, but here we are playing each other twice. As Ben said, this defense showed up for Georgia. They look like the real Georgia. Against Alabama, they didn't, but the injuries are piling up against Alabama. Receivers out. Jameson Williams, the other star receiver from Ohio State transfer, he ended up getting hurt as well. They got guys missing on the offensive line now. It's not looking good for Alabama. I understand why the line opened up the way it did. I'm going to have to favor Georgia the second time around. It's tough to beat a team twice, and I think Georgia's going to get the win here. I think the line's fair, also opening at -2.
All those injuries, along with how Georgia looked, granted they played after Bama, but there's a photo that's been going around of Nick Saban with no smile on his face after winning the college football semifinals, probably because he knew he had Georgia to look forward to.
That photo, by the way, is not from the semifinal. It's actually, if you see the guy, it's Derrick Henry next to him.
Oh,
it's just a fun photo to go around, though.
We're tweeting it.
That loses all the aura around it.
I got rickrolled with that picture because I was going around like right after they won the CFP.
I shared it. It's still fun. I mean, it's still fun.
Ron, you disagreed right as soon as we were talking about Georgia. You're still rolling with Bama no matter what.
He's under the weather, guys. Don't take everything he says seriously.
Man, y'all were saying this. Y'all were saying the same shit when they met in the SEC championship. And what did I say? Roll Bama, roll Tide, and they got whooped, dog. I mean, I understand what Justin said about not being able to beat a team twice, but how are you gonna go against the all-time fucking GOAT coach in college football?
I don't want to, Ron, but the injuries,
that's what they said about yesterday. They were like, we got no Mitchie, all this stuff, but I'm not gonna.
Cincy though. It was like they let the little brother come to the.
Were you impressed by their performance against Cincy? Did you catch the game?
Yeah, I did. The fucking running back rushed all over him.
Robinson.
The defense did what Bama defenses do. Everybody's like Cincinnati and this and that. Dude, they made that team look like where it should be, not in the college football championship, or playoffs. Georgia did obviously Georgia did, incredible. I mean, they blew out Michigan, but it's Michigan, dog, and I understand that they're number two. I understand. It's Michigan was a number 2 team, but Harbaugh doesn't have a great record. As far as being
this is the year they cracked through.
elite teams. So and. I'm there's no way I'm gonna go against Saban, against Bama as the home dogs. This is the first year ever, or maybe not the first year ever, but they get a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. I mean, he was on full display in that game as well. I'm all over. I'm on a fucking house call for Bama getting points, getting points in the national championship. And that quarterback from Georgia, I mean, he's not that dude either. Yes, he did well. But against the
game
Michigan
manager
team
at best, I agree.
Yeah, man. I mean,
but I don't even think Stenson Bennett needs to do anything. And I don't mean to cut you off there, Ron, but
no, you're good.
Georgia, what it comes down to me is their defense is just elite. I mean, they got 8 guys that are going to end up in the NFL. They showed just how elite they were against Michigan. This is a team that let
against Michigan,
on average less than a touchdown go against them throughout the whole year. I think they allowed like 5 points a game or something throughout most of the year in the college football season. So this defense is going to show up. They got embarrassed. They got embarrassed against Bama, but as Justin said, the injuries are racking up. This defense has a sour taste in their mouth, and they're going to come out and they're going to punch Bama in the mouth. I mean, that's pretty much what's going to happen. I don't think Stenson Bennett's going to have to win the game for them. He's capable. They have weapons. They probably have one of the best tight ends in the league or in the college football ranks, and they got Dalvin Cook's little brother who just went off for Georgia against Michigan. So I'd take Georgia in this match. I like the -3. The matchup in the college football or in the SEC final was about -7 or -8. So if you're betting Georgia from that point to this point, you're getting a 5-point discount. So give me Georgia -3 all day. If you'd like to put a side bet on that, I would do that with you as well. I'm going to be collecting checks on Georgia.
What do you guys think about Harbaugh now? You think he's taking that Chicago job, the Bears job?
Nah.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard about that, but
a lot of rumor. They even started asking him like at halftime about it.
I think he's a Michigan man.
Nah, man. He finally broke through, like Roland said earlier, and that number 2 ranking overall got him to a major bowl game with a chance at the national championship. That guy's not leaving, bro.
I think he leaves.
We got two guys on, or 3 guys on Georgia, although Justin is reluctantly taking them, and we got one
Ron
with Bama and Ron.
Ron had some backup in the comments. Also, shout out the comment section. Alex, Ray in there, Derek in there, Eddie in there. Shout out you guys for joining us.
Shout out everybody in the comments.
Yeah.
Rick's in there too. Derek's in there.
All right, moving on to the NFL. We're going to move through these next couple of topics pretty quickly. Just a quick COVID update. The NFL, they officially reduced the quarantine period for positive asymptomatic players from 10 to 5 days. So guys who test positive, but they're not showing any symptoms, they're going to be able to come back within 5 days. And I don't think they need to show a negative test.
What I want to know, Roland, is who did it first? Was it the NFL or the CDC who reduced 10 to 5? I'm just curious. Did the CDC kind of follow the NFL's protocols here?
That's a good question. I think they were hand in hand.
Yeah, the NFL was waiting for the CDC. There's no way they're.
It's a joke, man.
Oh, my bad. But did this help Carson Wentz out? Is that why Carson Wentz?
Yeah. Carson Wentz wouldn't have been able to play because
he's active now.
Yeah, so a lot of guys, and I think a lot of this has to do with the timing. The NFL is not going to want to have to deal with a guy like Travis Kelce missing a playoff game or something like that, like he did here in the regular season. So this is good news, I guess, for the NFL. They're just, trying to get guys back on the field and not have all these backups playing out there.
And for fantasy championships.
Yeah, they don't give a damn about that.
All right, well, moving on from COVID to some sad news here, but we got to pay our respects. I think everybody here has at least played Madden once or watching football growing up have heard John Madden call a game. John Madden, he passed away at 85 years old this past week. Bad way to end 2021. Do you guys have anything to say? Pay your respects to John Madden real quick.
Shit, I've been somebody who's bought Madden every year since like 2002. So 20 plus years of buying Madden. It was sad. 2021 was just a bad year for a lot of RIPs, man.
Yep.
Glad it's in the rearview mirror. But yeah, legend. That was a pretty cool picture that was going around Facebook and social media with all the covers, all the athletes. You know, you forget some guys were on. Was it Peyton Hillis from the Browns that was on
Hillis
there?
got on there.
I mean, that's wild, bro.
He was a
Dante
fullback, right?
Culpepper was on there one
He's
year.
a
He's a running back for the
2000s.
Browns.
1
1 year
wonder.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1 year wonder.
I got the first Madden that I got was 99. I think it was the last year with Madden on the cover. So that was
Eddie
pretty
George
cool
was
for
the
my
first player, I
PlayStation.
believe,
Yeah.
on the Madden cover.
What
I
about
saw
you,
a picture
Justin?
this week of Madden and Pat Summerall, and you see the picture and you just hear the voice in your head already.
Yeah.
It was something
Dude,
else.
I
And
mean,
I'm
Madden-
glad that was part of my childhood. You know, those are one of the greats.
When I think of Madden, I mean, I always think about him doing the drawings on the screen. Like
Yeah.
he's the originator of that to me. So I always think of that. So I'm glad when they were, going through his life and, kind of his highlights, they showed a bunch of him drawing up like the turkey on Thanksgiving Day and all this stuff. It's just legendary stuff.
My John Madden memory ties into the Little Giants, man. When he's comes out in the Little Giants movie, and he's like, he gets fucking lost, and then he goes up to the Little Giants, and he pulls out the map with Emmitt Smith and Bruce Smith, and he's like, we're here, we gotta go, boom, boom, boom. We're trying to go to Canton, and we gotta hit it hard, and I don't know where the heck we are. So that's a John Madden memory of mine.
Annexation of Puerto Rico,
which ties into the Little Giants, man, which was cool, but. It sucks, that people like him are gone, kind of changed the game as far as commentators come to play. You got guys now like Tony Romo who are getting paid fucking millions of dollars for being up there in the booth, and without guys like John Madden paving the way for him, I don't think that happens. So
because him and Pat, like Justin said, they're some of the first guys to really have the spotlight shined, or at least in the NFL. Because I know there's a bunch of other big names out there.
They were showing the rerun of the last game that he called, and it happened to be Kurt Warner and the Cardinals up against Antonio Holmes, Ben Roethlisberger, and the Steelers.
Championship.
Which was a crazy game. It went in like 9-0 or 10-0 into the fourth, and then they ended up scoring like 30-plus points in the fourth quarter. But that was a famous Antonio Holmes in the back of the end zone catch. So they were replaying that. And then just for Derek's comment about the Discord server, Derek, we actually have a WhatsApp chat. Get with us, give us your number, and we'll throw you in that WhatsApp chat. It's pretty much what we do in there instead of the Discord server. So, yeah.
All right, well, rest in peace, John Madden. 85 years. He gave a lot to the game. Hall of Famer, and had a bigger impact than just football. But moving on. Dan Reeves. He
Dirty
also
Birds.
passed away. Dirty Bird. Former Atlanta Falcons coach. Former Giants head coach. Former, I want to say, Rams head coach. I could be confusing him. But legend in the game and former Giants head coach. Passes away at 77 years old. Just want to have him up here to, pay his respects, because there's been a couple of people who passed away that we've missed. But I just want to say rest in peace to Dan Reeves. You guys remember him doing the Dirty Bird growing up? That's probably one of my main memories of him.
Now late 90s with the Falcons.
Yeah. Him and Jamal Anderson.
Yeah. Specifically Jamal Anderson every time he scored a tutty.
Yeah.
Was Vic on that squad? Vic was on that squad, no? Or no? No?
I think Vic came a little afterwards.
Yeah,
but
he came in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Who was the quarterback? Was this like Chris Chandler or Tom Chandler when they went to the Super Bowl? I don't know, but I just remember that Super Bowl against the Broncos when they lost. All right, well, moving on.
Brad Johnson.
That was a little bit of what's been going on in the sports world since we were last with you guys. A lot happened, but those were the main highlights. We're about 20 minutes in here. It's week 17, championship week for fantasy football, and that's what we're about to get into, fellas. So we got some weather. Not really anything too much to point out here other than, some overcast in a couple of places and some high winds that you want to look out for. As always, Chicago, windy city, 23 degrees, 15-mile-per-hour winds, has the makings of an under right there to me when you take into consideration those two teams that are playing also. Not really anything else here, though. some injury report news, some big names up top. Miles Sanders, Clyde Edwards-Helaire are both out. Miles Sanders has been a year-long disappointment for most guys. He's had some flashes here and there, but he's out. A guy not listed on here that is out is Kirk Cousins. I think he got hit with COVID, but it's within that 5-day period to where he's not going to be able to make it. One guy that I want to highlight on the bottom, well, actually, before I get to that, Lamar Jackson and Marquise Brown are both game-time decisions. And then you got a trio of Broncos there that are also game-time decisions. But I do want to point out Cam Akers. He tore his Achilles 5 months ago, and he's already nearing making a return. He's probably going to return next week. He wasn't able to make it this week. They have him on there as doubtful. But Justin, are you amazed by him making it this quickly, this recovery from tearing the ACL? Or I mean the Achilles?
Who's that?
Cam Akers, the running back for the Rams. It was supposed to be him.
Sorry, I was in the comment
cool.
section over here.
It was supposed to be Cam Akers. He was supposed to be the guy, but he tore his Achilles 5 months ago, and in goes Henderson. So I don't know. I just wanted to point out Cam Akers being there, and of course Lamar Jackson. If you have him, got to watch out for that injury, game time decision. And even if he does play, probably not going to be 100%. Just want to look out for that. Anything on here that is affecting you guys personally, or that you would want to point out?
Lamar Jackson, just for those who are in championship week, if they have him, you can't start him. You're going to be looking at somebody else. And then not only that, just the Ravens here, trying to make the playoffs. It's going to be tough now with Lamar out. I think they play the Rams, right? It's going to be Rams all day, I think.
Yeah, tough game. What about you, Ron?
Teddy Bridgewater, man. They're playing away at the Chargers today. I think it's going to be a big bounce back game. It ties into my start of the week and actually one of my quarterbacks in my championship fantasy league. So Teddy Bridgewater out for the Broncos is huge for me. Having a lot of Chargers players on my fantasy squad. Hopefully, Drew Lock is Drew Lock today and gives the Chargers a lot of opportunities offensively to have the ball for long periods of time. So which will lead to fantasy points for me.
I'm going to be rooting for you on that one because we need here as a podcast for the Broncos to lose. So Teddy Bridgewater being out is good. What about you, Ben? Is there anything on here that's affecting you personally or that stands out to you?
Personally, I think it was one that you said that wasn't on here was Kirk Cousins. I mean, as a Justin Jefferson owner in championship week, you kind of wonder. You kind of wonder maybe are they going to work the ball to him in shorter routes and at least put the ball in his hands and let him work after the catch. You can't expect too much. Yeah, you can't expect too much downfield with the quarterback that they're starting. So that does affect me. And an interesting one, I think, is the Gordon and Williams for Denver. Because I think if one of those guys is out, the other dude is a pretty much automatic start. You can expect about 15 points. We know what Denver likes to do. They like to run the ball. They still have Drew Lock starting at quarterback, so they're going to want to limit his attempts. I think that running back situation is a good one to watch.
Yeah, I would say Gordon and Williams, those are both injury-related, like physical injuries. Sutton is COVID. He had COVID symptoms, but he cleared to be able to travel, but he's still not necessarily ready to play the game today. So we'll see. I
believe Patrick might be out as well for Denver. So you have no Judy, no Patrick, and no Sutton.
Fade Denver today, then.
Yeah, fade Denver.
No Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Who are they matched up with again? Somebody said
Chargers.
it right now. The Chargers. Okay.
And the Chargers are coming off a bad loss last week against the Texans. So.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, the Chargers lose this game. I mean, I would fire the coach. He's a first-year coach. Let him out of there, man.
Roman calling for another man's job.
No, I'm kidding. I'm saying hypothetically, I don't call for other people's jobs. I'm just kidding around. But, I mean, if you lose this game to the Broncos, that's bad.
The way that they're battling in the playoff race, losing to the Texans is unforgivable.
Exactly. And I just checked. We're going to get to it with the futures, but that Texans future was at 4.
That cost me that cost me to go to a fantasy championship, man. Herbie's performance last week, which is why I think he has a good bounce back. But -8 Chargers today, over under 45.5 at home versus the Broncos. With
Chargers, nice teaser piece
with the JV squad out there.
Yeah, straight up. All right, moving on from injuries. Let's get to it. It's a fan mailbag. I saw there were some questions going on in the comment section that were answered, and we'll get to those and just bring them back up just so everybody can see them. But here on the screen, we got Foreman or Connor. running back 2, half-point PPR. It's probably a running back light team, wide receiver heavy, where Connor is the running back 2 in this situation. Where do you guys go here?
I'll let Ben do this one. He's been on Foreman all year, pretty much.
I have liked Foreman. The thing is, I don't know Connor's status, and they do play at separate times. So Foreman plays at noon. Connor plays the later slate against the Cowboys, and he's a game time decision. So you're not going to get a decision for Connor until the game starts. Kind of makes it a no-brainer. You got to go Foreman here for me, just based on that. And we saw a really good performance from Edmonds last week, making his return without Connor. Put up 25, 26 fantasy points. So it seems like whoever fills in that running back spot is going to be able to get the job done just based off the amount of work that they're going to get.
Yeah, I'd probably lean Foreman here too, just because Connor is a game time decision and Edmonds has already made his impact in his short time since he's been back.
I'm gonna follow the lead here with you guys, man. And I mean, I got it on my chest. I don't want anybody rushing against that Dallas defense right now, especially a guy who's an RB2 with an injury. You would assume that the Cardinals are going to put a lot of weight on Kyler today throwing the ball. I don't know who the fuck he's going to throw it to, but I don't see the Cardinals trying to get a running game established against Dallas today. And that's why I would go for it.
And Ron, I don't know if you did that intentionally, but that's going to segue us to our next question because our next question includes Kyler Murray. It's from John Villarreal. John, thanks for the tweet here. He's got some decisions to make in his championship game. First of all, congratulations for making it to your championship, sir. A lot of work. So congratulations to make it. So his question is, he's got to make a quarterback and tight end decision. He's got a Kyler and Ertz stack versus the Cowboys or a Mac Jones and Hunter Henry stack against Jacksonville. Where do you guys lean there before we get to the second part of this question?
It's tough.
Shit, my bad. I was talking to Bullshit Week, and I wanted to know if it was an Edito Tovar league.
Oh, no. I don't know what league this is in, but this is tough.
You're talking about my bad. It's kind
of... Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
No, go. You're a good now. It's because you were like freezing.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I was just saying that I think that this is a tough question. Me personally, I'm a big time Kyler Murray doubter. As a fantasy owner of him in one of my leagues this year, big turnoff after the year he had last week. I don't think that he's much without DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think that Christian Kirk is enough. I don't think he's a good enough option to get it done. And it's shown since Hopkins got injured, they've been slumping. So I'm not in on Kyler for that reason. And in the playoffs, you kind of want to trust that guy just based off where you drafted him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was probably his 4th, 5th round pick with Kyler Murray. And he's talking about Mac Jones, a guy he got off the waiver, but the matchup is key. I think that Mac Jones could pass for 2 touchdowns today. I'd go with Mac Jones and Henry, man. As hard as that is, I might even go Mac Jones and Ertz and do that combo.
I like that.
What about you, Ron?
I'm going to touch on his Mike Williams or Christian Kirk for the flex. I've been a real big guy on Mike Will this year. He was hurt last game. He didn't play. We saw what that did to Herbert. Herbert's going to have his full, his full choice of top stars today, along with Keenan Allen like last week. I believe he gets Eckler back. Mike Will is there. Palmer, the wide receiver 3, stepped it up also as well. So we know Herbie performed like shit last week. He's going to want to bounce back. We just said against the Denver team right now who's kind of depleted. So I'm a big Mike Will guy. I do like him over Christian Kirk. Again, Kirk going against that Dallas defense. And I agree with Ben, man. I think Ertz is going to be targeted a little bit more by Kyler because he might be under pressure today. He might not have time to draw back and hit Christian Kirk for those longer passes. Ertz could get a garbage time touchdown. So I'm just going to go with Mike Will over Kirk. As far as the Jones and Henry situation over Kyler and Ertz, shit, man, that's tough. I'm going to have to disagree with Ben and go with Kyler and Ertz here just because, like Ben said too, you drafted Kyler probably early, and I would rather die and lose with, Kyler than saying than him going trying to
Off
overthink
on the
myself.
bench.
You know, yeah,
Trying to
trying to
outsmart
go,
yourself.
overthink myself and be like Mac Jones, and then you stop and Kyler goes off for maybe a couple rushing touchdowns. You never know. There is no offense there. He might, have a good rushing game today. So I would just live or die with my higher pick.
Go out with your horses.
Yeah.
Go out on the shield.
I gotta agree with Ron. You go out with your shield. I'll go with the Kyler and Ertz stack in this situation. The Dallas defense, while they have been turning the ball over a lot, I mean, they have been giving up some yardage. I don't think they've been necessarily just locking guys down and not allowing any success at all. So give me Kyler Murray here. I think he's good for a rushing touchdown or two. I think we've seen some quarterbacks have some success against the Cowboys. The one that comes to the top of my head right now is that Sam Darnold game earlier in the year, where he had 2 rushing touchdowns against the Cowboys. I think Kyler Murray could find some of that success on the ground, although he's going to have to be healthy. I know there's a lot of question about, his health and how well he holds up towards the end of the year. But give me Kyler. I'm not going to say they're going to go and win the game because obviously I got my Dak jersey on. I'm rolling with the Cowboys. But this is a big game for the Cardinals. So they're going to have to go out there and give their best performance. I know we got a friend of the pod and Robert Gray who's going to be watching and rooting for the Cardinals, but this is it for them here almost as far as wanting to be a true contender and competing with the Cowboys here. So
I like the little nugget. I like that little nugget that Ray dropped in the chat. Apparently, Ertz has the most catches against the boys. So that's a little nugget there by the comment section, man.
There we go.
Playing for the Eagles and playing them twice a year will get you that. Yeah. But that is the thing about Ertz and Henry. Henry is touchdown or bust.
Touchdown or bust.
Ertz you can rely on for catches, yards, and possibly that touchdown.
And the Jacksonville defense, I'm glad you said about the touchdown dependency. They haven't given up a tight end touchdown since week 11. So I like Ertz here in this matchup. And then to follow it up, I'll go Mike Williams here. In the flex.
I agree on that. Like I said, I'm not big on Kirk. You can't put that many eggs in the Cardinals basket. You can't have all your eggs in that Cardinals basket.
Maybe if Kirk was DeAndre Hopkins, you could do that, but I wouldn't trust Kirk enough to do that at all.
Those are some nice little nuggets there for Mr. Poker Star John.
Let's see. Do we have any other?
Good luck. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you, John.
What was Ray's question earlier? I saw we answered it in the comments earlier.
Jacobs or Pollard?
Oof. I probably go Jacobs just because he has a solidified role.
Yeah, and I was going to say, because we had a conversation about Jacobs earlier this morning, me and Roland, and he kind of said I would steer away from Jacobs. The Colts' run defense is, kind of tight. They've been playing very stingy, but that solidified role over Pollard.
Yeah.
He might get double the touches that Pollard gets. So for that reason, you got to go Josh Jacobs.
Yes, for sure. I go Jacobs.
And not just that, I mentioned to Ray too, there's not a lot of offensive weapons right now for the Raiders. Waller's still out, right? Waller's done. We all know what happened to, the situation with Ruggs. So it's Hunter Renfrow, pretty much catching the balls, and you have Josh Jacobs in the backfield, and that's it, man. So I just go with the guy who has a lot more potential offensively to see the ball and to be on the field for more offensive snaps. And, Pollard we saw Zeke's kind of been coming around a little bit. He's still a little banged up, but they did go heavy on him the last couple games. Pollard is a little banged up as well. So it's clear RB1 over RB2 in my opinion, and I would go Jacobs.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say if Ray wasn't a Cowboys fan, that wouldn't even be a question.
And this is a good question here, though. I do want to ask because this is something that comes up often, where you have an offensive player from, let's say, the Cowboys, but you're going up against the Cardinals, and you have the Cardinals defense also. Does that ever scare you when you have an offensive player going up against your defense?
It's funny because that's exactly what's going on.
That's pretty much what Ray is asking here.
Yeah. That sucks, dude, when you're in that situation. But
it does suck. It does suck. But if you expect, some turnovers from the defense, your defense loses 2 points for a touchdown. I guess you just hope that it's your guy. But in a full PPR league with Jacobs being the no doubt goal line back and just being the RB1, you got to go there. And I wouldn't even trip on the defense either. I think you're fine starting Indy.
Yeah, I think you're fine as well. I don't think Josh Jacobs will tank your defense by any means. So go ahead and start those two guys right there.
How's
All right, we
Ray
don't-
in the ship with a guy like Josh Jacobs? That's what
Probably
league are you
probably
in,
got to
bro?
get some good players on his team. Ray, drop your roster in the comments if you want to answer Ron's question. But we don't have any other thing in the fan mailbag. Thanks everybody throughout the whole season.
I hope it's not because a lot of people weren't in the championship, man.
Yeah.
I hope it's just because you got your lineup straight for this
exactly.
week, all right?
Ray was like the 4 seed that barely snuck in, and then he played the
Yo.
guy,
Hey,
and then he played the guy in the semis that got hit by COVID, and now he's in the
Oh,
ship.
Ray, there you go. There you go.
All right, well, let's get on to the must start. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and throw them in there because it is championship week, and we're not going to go over or miss any questions here this week. So if
Four-man
you got
league.
them, send them in. Let me see.
Just-
Must start of the week. I'll go because I don't know if Justin is by the mic right now. Justin, if you're there, just chime in whenever. We got Antonio Brown for myself going up against the Jets. The Buccaneers, they're double-digit favorites. Antonio Brown, we saw last week was getting targeted in his first game back by Tom Brady. I think that's going to happen again. I like Antonio Brown to get at least 7 to 8 catches and find the end zone. So give me Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I'm gonna piggyback and just say that Roland beat me to that start of the week. So I just wanna the stamp of approval with Antonio Brown. Also, we mentioned I think a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if it was on air or not, but Antonio Brown does have incentives that he's playing for. He needs some catches and he needs yards. So if you saw last week, I mean, he had 10 catches for over 100 yards. Tom Brady, right now they missed Evans last week. They're missing Godwin. You expect them to take Godwin's role. So if you all have any Antonio Brown props that your book is offering, take the overs, man. Last week it was set at 6.5 catches. He finished with 10 or 11. Antonio Brown's if you didn't drop him and you still have him in fantasy, it's a good plug-in.
Shit, fuck yeah.
But for me, I'm going to go with Damian Harris from New England. Saw him have a good game last week against the Bills. No Stevenson in the backfield, so it should be all his work. They're playing the Jags. They're 17-point favorites. So you got to expect them to get in the end zone early and often. Damian Harris is their goal line back. He's their running back one. I'm playing against him in a championship, so I mean, but it's inevitable, bro. This is just a good matchup for Damian Harris.
He's going to get into the end zone. Is Stevenson, is he still out?
Yeah, I believe he is.
Yeah, there you go. What about you, Ron? Who do you got?
It says Nick Chubb, but I think that was like from 3 weeks ago.
It's probably week
they forgot
15.
to change. Yeah, but it's all good. I mean, he's still probably not a bad start regardless. But my start of the week is Justin Herbert. Just going back to him, man. I'm going to keep it plain and simple. I think he has a bounce-back game. He has all his weapons back. Mike Will, Eckler. He is at home against a banged-up Denver squad. He last week was the first time since week 10, I believe, that he hasn't thrown multiple touchdowns. He's had many 3-touchdown games. He haven't had a 4-touchdown game in week 3 at KC. Expect him to bounce back, give you at least, I'm going to say no less than 23 points today, 24. We'll keep it with the LeBron and Kobe. You know, it's a pretty good number there. So look for Herbie to bounce back today, man. And I definitely think that he's a must start. Now, it's kind of like, fuck, well, no shit, he's a must start. But I was in a situation where I had somebody like Burrow. You know, last week I start Burrow in one league. I get to the ship. I start Herbie, and he cost me a chance to go to the ship. So it's not always as easy when you have guys like Herbert. That's a must start because you could have some other quality options at quarterback. But definitely this week, plug him in no matter what.
There we go. I like that. Justin Herbert and an obvious bounce back game and must win for the Chargers. So 303 tuds for Mr.
There
Herbie.
you go.
There
I
you
like
go.
that.
I like that.
No picks.
Yeah, there we go. And again, guys, if you guys still have any questions about starter sits or anything, throw them in the comments. Go ahead, Ben.
I think that was Ray's lineup because you asked him what his roster
Oh.
was to get into the championship. You told him to drop the
Oh, that's
roster.
right. That's right.
And he's got the
yeah.
receivers on lock: Justin Jefferson, Debo, and Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Damn.
That'll get you-
That's
that'll
going to
get you
get you
to
to
the
the
title.
title in a PPR league. Damn right it will.
That's a good squad right there.
Like
That's a good
Derek
squad.
said, if it's a 4-man league, we'll see that all the time.
What's up, Mark? What's up?
Oh,
If you have
God.
a starter sit, throw it in the comments, Mark. We'll try and
Mark,
give you a starter sit. Throw it in the comments, Mark. We'll try and give you our best advice.
Mark don't got no starter sits. He ain't in no Champions League, bro.
Yeah,
Stop
bro.
bullshitting, bro.
Hey,
that-
third
hey,
place game. Third place
Hey,
game.
that guy's dropping players for his keeper league next year and shit.
That's right. That's right. He's playing the long game. He's playing the long game. I like that. All right. Let's see. Week 17 betting trends. We're transitioning to betting already. We're going to give our card here for week 17. We got 2 more weeks of doing this. We'll probably continue it in the playoffs, but for regular season, we got 2 more weeks. So these trends are pretty set in stone. We got the over 9-3 in the Jets' last 12 games. Bad defense and their offense comes to play in the garbage time. Bills 7-1-1 against the spread against a team with the losing record. So even though they deal with those high spreads, they still come out and they cover. Going back to the top here, Giants 0-4 against the spread in their previous 4 games on the road. They have a road matchup in the Windy City against the Bears. We all know Matt Nagy's probably coaching his last games there in Chicago. So we'll see what happens there. Anything here that sticks out to you guys right off the screen?
Shit, man. A lot of these trends kind of coincide with some of the plays that I have.
There we go. That's good to see.
I won't get into my 3 plays, but other stuff that I'm on, I am on the over in the Chiefs game. I think a lot of points get scored there, or at least enough to. I think the over is at 51.
51.
So seeing that the over is 4-1 in the Chiefs' last 5 games against the AFC is really, really good to know. Bills at 7-1-1 against a team with a losing record is great. I do have them first half because the spread is like 14.5 for the full game. I think they come out strong against the Falcons. And when the Bills play shitty teams, they take care of the shitty teams, man. You're not going to see the Bills, they're not a team that you say, oh, that's a team that they should have won. And they lost.
Jags, cuz.
That
one game is horrible.
We're in week 17 though, so I mean,
For the most part, they have been covering 14-point spreads though, for the most part.
So I like the Giants. Roland just said it 0-4. Chicago is a bet that I'm on today. I think Justin Fields or whoever the fucking quarterback is, Nick Foles won him the damn game last week. So Jake Fromm. That's all you got to say. Jake fucking Fromm, man. So I like that.
There we go. What about you, Ben?
I will say it's a little tough because a lot of the teams that are up here have big spreads, double-digit spreads. The Buccaneers are up at 13, 14 points. The Bills, like Ron mentioned, the Patriots are at 17. So there's a lot of very high spreads. But the last one actually down at the bottom catches my attention. The Titans are 6-1 straight up. Their last 7 games at home. We know what's happened. They got a big win last week, a win that many people didn't expect.
Yep.
And what I will say, man, is Mike Vrabel, he's just a good coach. They have a really good coach. A.J. Brown is back, and he's back, and he's effective. So that one sticks out to me.
Yeah, I like the Titans at home. They're laying 3 against the Dolphins. That'll probably be somewhere I look personally. And probably the one that kind of scares me a little bit. I know we were just talking about the Bills, but the Falcons are sneakily 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 road games, and they're catching a lot of points. So we'll see if the Falcons have maybe a backdoor opportunity to get in there and steal a cover.
It should be open. Yeah, with a spread like that, the backdoor should be open.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Mark is giving his plays. I think it's about time for us to give our 3 plays. Mark is on the Cards plus 6.5. I have a feeling that's going to disagree with some of the plays on our card, but we'll get to it.
I have a feeling he's being a dumbass right now.
No, but why, Ron? But why just the house? Why not the ranch, Mark?
Yeah, it's got to be the ranch, Mark. Let's see. I'll start off. I'll go real quick through mine. I got the Bengals plus 3.5 in that high-profile game against Kansas City. Kansas City, they're 8-0, I guess, in their last 8 games. They're riding an 8-game win streak. They are on the road. They've been doing it on the heels of their defense. I like Cincy at home. The main thing for me here is the hook. You're catching the 3.5. I see a close game. Joe Burrow, he does good as a home underdog. I don't have his against the spread record, but I know it's pretty reputable. So give me Joe Burrow as a home dog catching the 3.5. I don't know if they're going to win outright, but I see something like a 31-28 game, somewhere along those lines. Give me the Washington football team plus 6 against the Eagles. I'm not too impressed with what I see from the Eagles on a week-to-week basis. I know they got a good defense, but the Washington football team's defense has been playing pretty well as of late also. It's a little banged up. I'm not too confident about this pick, but I like catching 6 with Washington, and I'm just not that confident in the Eagles. That's probably more of where this play is coming from for me. And then give me the big spread, the Packers minus 13. That's as of this morning. They're laying 13 against the Kirk Cousins-less Minnesota Vikings. So I'm not expecting much from the backup for the Vikings. I know Jefferson is in a lot of championships, but give me the Green Bay Packers minus 13. They're trying to lock up home field advantage. Aaron Rodgers is going to lock up the MVP. Give me Green Bay. They're going to be celebrating down there in Wisconsin, or up there in Wisconsin.
Ron, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm just talking shit to Wally real quick.
I'll go while he's talking real quick.
Yeah.
Green Bay minus 12 to piggyback on Roland's pick. It's the same thing for me. No Kirk Cousins going to be easy. Pick the Cowboys every week. It's hits 85% of the time.
They're 11
and do it
against the
again.
spread this
Yeah.
year.
And then the Rams, Ravens, Lamar Jackson out, can take the 6 on there.
There we go. I like that. And even if he plays, he's going to be very hampered. I saw those videos of him limping in practice. Not going to look good. What about you, Ben?
Damn, Justin, full of chalk.
I'm going to disagree with the Washington choice on your part just because Gibson is out. I do think that Gibson is a very big part of that Washington football team's offense. And you got Darius Slay that's going to be matching up with Scary Terry or Terry McLaurin. So I actually like the way the Eagles have been running the ball. I'm not the big Jalen Hurts believer, but they have been playing good football, since they started committing to the run. So I like the Eagles there, and they're going for that wild card spot. So it's a big game for the Eagles.
True.
Like I said in the last trends thing with the Titans, big fan of Mike Vrabel. The Dolphins are on a 7-game win streak. They were a team that lost 7 and won 7 in a row or some shit like that.
And they've been playing weak teams, too.
Weak teams. They did have that win against, the Ravens on Thursday night, that weird, muddy game.
They came off the Saints, too.
And the Saints were playing Ian Book. So they've been playing a lot of horrible quarterbacks. I'm not a believer. A.J. Brown is back. The Titans need this. I don't think that they've shored up the division yet because the Colts have been winning as well.
But they own the tiebreaker over them. They got 2 dubs.
They do own the tiebreaker, but I think if they lose both of their remaining games and the Colts could get it, they need to win 1 out of the 2. They're favorites. I expect them to get it done today. And then I got to have one dog on my card. I'm going to go with the Lions, the pesky Lions.
I like it.
No Jared Goff. I think that's a plus. Jared Goff is usually trash. We've seen the Lions be very live, beat Arizona in recent weeks. I do have St. Brown, the receiver for them. I expect him to do some work today in fantasy football. And I'm going to, who are the Seahawks blowing out? Let's get real. Seahawks ain't beating anybody by more than
potentially Russell Wilson's last game.
I mean, they just lost to Nick Foles and the Bears, and now they're going to come and lay 8.5 against the Lions.
I don't think so.
Miss me with that bullshit. Yeah.
Let's go.
Hey, on your little nugget for your Titans play, I believe the weather is snowy or gonna be snowy or it's gonna be cold as fuck. And them boys from Miami, the Tua Tagovailoa and them Devontae Parker, them boys riding around and that with the
South
drop
Beach
in Miami and South Beach, and they're gonna come to Tennessee and go against a team like Mike Vrabel and them boys. So that's something I did there. Shit, I might be fucked up, but Tennessee plays with an open roof, right? They don't play in the dome, do they?
No,
they play it outside.
Before somebody comes in the chat and be like, they play in the dome, Ben?
Play outdoors.
Nah, they'll be more physical. You're on it, Ron. I'm with that.
But I like the picks today. I keep mine short and sweet. KC minus 3.5. There is a disclaimer here, boys. You gotta buy the hook, man. I'm not sold on the performance by Burrow's 500 yards. I know it was amazing. I know they beat the shit out of the Ravens.
Damn, Burrow's your guy too.
He is.
Hey, he's gonna be spinning that lyric after the Cincinnati wins.
I'm in the pocket like Burrow. No, man. But KC, I'm buying it here. In their last 5, bro, they put up 36, 34, 48, 22, and 19. They gave up 28 points at the Chargers, but other than that, man, their defense has been solid. I understand that, Cincinnati has that explosive offense as well, but there's levels to this shit, man. And when KC was in trouble early in the year, I said, Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, relax, because they're
You
going to
did
come
say
back.
that.
You don't think that fucking Patty's looking at Burrow and being like, hey, bro, pause. I'm still the big man in the league. I'm the face of the league. You ain't going to come in here. I'm going to go into your house and I'm going to show you what's up with my squad. Kelsey's back today. He has there's no Hilaire, but I think that the Chiefs definitely get it done. Cincy, in their last 5, 2 weeks ago, they barely beat Denver 15-10. 3 weeks ago, they lost to San Francisco. 4 weeks ago, they lost to the Chargers. So I think it's a lot of hype on that performance put up last week. I think it's a huge overreaction. Let's not forget, who they're playing. So give me KC -3.5. If you're feeling ballsy, I'd buy the hook to -3. Cowboys, I mean, that's all I got to say right here. They're covering, machines, just like Roland mentioned earlier. The defense, they can stop Connor. They can stop Edmonds. Kirk is not the answer, man. And even though it might be a little bit competitive, I see the defense stepping up and the Cowboys getting the late cover. So I'm going to go -6.5 there. Earlier in the week, they were -5.5. Justin always talks shit about me getting different lines, but there is a play, Justin. I have them in a parlay at -5.5. Finally, Chicago -6.5 at home.
I only put 6.5 because that's what you gave me.
No,
I would have put 5 if you had it.
No, it's all good though, because that's currently what it's at right now. But Chicago also, from what I've read, the Giants wide receivers, Tony's out, Ross is out, Johnson's out, Pettis is out, Slayton is out. Who the fuck is Jake Fromm going to throw the ball to, man? So give me Chicago. They're coming off the win against Seattle. They also beat Detroit. They lost to Minnesota, Green Bay, and Arizona. So they've lost to better teams. They're going against a shittier team here. I think they at home. I always like taking home teams. So those are my 3 picks for the day, man.
Yeah, and Ron, some people were asking questions about what does by the hook mean, the hooker. They usually call it the hooker because -3 is a football number, guys. -3.5. If you're gonna have to win, you usually want the 3. So if they win by a field goal, you at least get to push. So that's what Ron is saying. He doesn't like the 3.5, wants it down at 3, just in case the Chiefs win by a field goal. You don't lose any money. So that's what he's talking about.
And usually the difference isn't that much. Like, say you're getting -3.5 and you put a bill. That bill's probably going to win you,
It usually goes from -110 to -120.
Yeah, so
usually 10 cents.
You might lose $10, $5, just depending on what it is. And the shittiest thing to do, man, is at the end of the fucking game, you get a fucking nasty backdoor cover, and the first thing you say is, should have bought the hook. So there it is.
Yep. Yeah, the hook will save you sometimes for sure. But yeah, 3, like Ben said, is probably the most common point differential in the NFL. So it comes into play with that number a lot. Any other plays you guys want to talk about here on as far as against the spread or anything?
Shit, I'll just run through mine real quick.
Just real quick hitters.
Yeah.
You have other plays?
Yeah. Just like real quick though. Give me a second.
All right.
I know I took. I'm sorry, guys.
While he does that, I'll give my teaser.
I'm ready.
I got the 2-team 7-point teaser. I got the Bengals. I'm riding with them. I had them on the spread. I'm taking them up to 10.5 because of math, and taking the Rams from I think they were +6.5 or -6.5 this morning when I teased them with the 7 points to +0.5. So pretty much just got to win. And the Bengals +10.5. I think that's money. So give me this 2-team 7-point teaser today.
I've been taking your teasers pretty much all year, and we've been making some money rolling. I like
pretty
that.
Good. Yeah, there's been some bad calls out there. Like I think who's the one?
One time the Bucks didn't hit like 2 weeks ago, but other than that, it's been good.
That one was brutal. Yeah, for sure. All right, Ron, did you find your place?
Yeah, let's do. I took several team totals today. As we know, today in the NFL, spreads are kind of high, and there's some competitive games as well. But give me team total on the Chiefs at 27.5. Like I said, I think they put up points. I think the overs hit. So usually when you take overs, it kind of coincides to team total overs. So Chiefs over 27.5 at -120. I also like the Bears, man. The Bears team total is only at 21. I really like that too. They hit 13 points at half. You're almost there, 10 points, whatever it is. So I think it's a very low total for being at home against a team that they're playing. So Bears team total over 21 and the Chiefs team total over 27.5.
There you go. So we got points.
Yeah, a lot of points today, man.
There we go. And I'm going to be adding that Titans play. I like the Titans -3.
I like it too now, man. Ben
convinced
me.
I'll be there with you on that one.
Yeah. I think we got Edgar here joining us late. Antonio Brown or AJ Brown? Shit.
It's a good one. That's a good one.
That's
Good problems.
That's honestly two guys that I think you have to have in your lineup. I don't think you should be choosing between those two guys. I think both of them should be plugged in, bro. I know that you might have some better options. I don't know if you want to throw them in here. I'm about to give my teaser of the day. So throw in your wide receiver options because those are two guys that we talked about today, and you have to have both of those guys in your lineup.
Yeah, agreed.
Justin, you want to go to the next one so I can give out my teaser?
That's on rolling.
Oh, I got it.
All right, so here we go. I'm going with the three-team 10-point teaser just to piggyback off Ron. He was saying he expects touchdowns with that Kansas City Chiefs team total over. We know what Burrow's doing. I expect totals 51, bringing it down 10 points to 41. Like I said, I expect the Lions to keep it close. So if I'm getting over 17 points, sign me up. Lions plus 18.5. And then the Bills was able to get them when they were at 14 down to -4. I expect a double-digit win from the Bills, but let's just be safe and take them down to 4.
I like this teaser, Ben. Like I said earlier, the only one that I feel a little sketched out by is the over 41. And it's not a big-time sketch. I think the other two are locks, in my opinion. The only thing that worries me is that, Joe Burrow had a great game last week. Does he come out and do more of the same, or does he just, lay that egg? And that just worries me just a little bit. I'm still going to play it regardless, though. I like this teaser.
Yeah, I like that over 41 a lot, actually. I don't usually like to tease totals, but in a game that we talked about where we already expect points, I think, we can easily get a 24-20 game or a 24-21 game or something like that. So I see that over cashing.
Hey, and Edgar threw in his lineup, so I guess he does have to pick from those two guys because it's Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then so let's make a decision here, boys. Out of the four of us, what do we think? AJ Brown? We said that it might be snowing in Tennessee.
Snow
right?
game, Antonio Brown. Give me Antonio Brown.
All right, Roland. Antonio Brown was your must start.
I'd probably go Antonio Brown here too. I'm not gonna go away from my must start.
Shit, you know it's booming all day for me, dog.
I'm gonna make a consensus, Edgar. We talked about how he has incentives that he needs to hit, so you could see another double-digit catch game. And over the century mark again, I'd go Antonio Brown over AJ Brown.
And with those receivers that you listed, you just need AJ Brown or Antonio Brown not to bust.
Exactly.
And if you're playing PPR, I think you should be good because Tyreek and Devontae Adams should come through for you on that one. So I don't know.
Dude, I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you guys, but man, they're ripping you on the comments.
What's up with that?
About that picture, dog. They said that's your prom.
That's a great picture. I like that picture.
That ain't my prom picture. Shit, I wasn't wearing a vest to prom.
All right. If we have any other start sits, we're here. We're nearing the hour mark. It's 11:05. We're getting close to kickoff. We're 55 minutes away from week 17. If you guys have any more starter sits, keep on throwing them up in the comments section. We got our socials up here.
Roland, do we got our win totals?
I got them here, but that's a pretty recent picture of me. I will say that's like maybe.
Roland's like, wait.
Not so fast.
Hey, I like that picture too. I chose the pictures. I thought they were good ones.
Hey,
we can tell you chose the picture, Justin.
I still
we had no say. Justin went and found the ones where we were suited and booted and decided to pick that shit.
Yeah, Justin went to have a photo session for his and shit.
Yeah.
These are our socials. We got YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We got to put our TikTok up there. We're gonna get active on TikTok here as we wind down and get closer to the end of the NFL season. But yeah, we'll update this page with our TikTok so you guys can get on there and catch some of our plays where we'll be posting. And then our last slide here. These are our futures that we took in our division breakdowns, our preseason podcasts. If you guys were with us at that point, we looked at every division, broke down every team, and we gave some plays at the end of each pod. And this is what we came up with. A lot of these look good. I'll let you guys, starting with Ben, is there anything out here that you want to point out, or something that scares you, or something that you're like, oh shit, we hit that?
I'm just gonna point out that Bills one because I think I was still kind of optimistic. I think you all were. I think Justin was on the other side of I don't know if we're gonna get to 11. That game last week against the Patriots was make or break. We know the last 2 games of the season are against the Jets and the Falcons, where we expect the Bills to be favored both games by over 14 points. So being able to get a push on that Bills over 11, I think is like relieving. Me, I played it personally and I played it big as well. Yeah. So let's just win these last 2 games, get the push, and I think that's a win with the way this shit was looking, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, man. And honestly, just go back to the Bills schedule. Losing to the Jaguars, losing to the Steelers opening week. It's just there's some losses that shouldn't have been the way they were.
Too many of those.
It's just unfortunate.
A 9-6 loss to the Jaguars is fucking nasty.
And and we did those.
I was in panic mode since then.
When we looked at the season schedule, we did that thing where we had toss-up games where we called a loss, and some of those losses were games that we were certain they were going to win. Like Justin said, Steelers at home, we were all low on the Steelers preseason. And then Jags too, even though that was on the road. Bad breaks there for that total, but like Ben said, can still push. The one that I'm going to call out is the Ravens total, the one that's right next to it, the one that's not going to get there. That's pretty much a loss right now, the way that it stands.
Looked like a lock, bro.
Yeah, it looked like a lock early in the season, but injuries, close losses. They had that one down there in Pittsburgh where they went for 2, a couple of losses off of going for it on 2-point conversion against the Packers also there with Tyler Huntley. Bad break for this total, but it's not going to cash. So sorry, guys.
What about some of the stuff that we have hit? I know the Rams already hit.
Yep, that already hit.
The Packers
already hit.
The Packers already hit. That's 2.
Lions already hit.
Lions already hit.
Lions under 5.
Yeah, there's only 2 games left, and they've won 1 game. So
there you go, man. And as we talked about too, from the time that we said under 5, it went to 4.5 wins. So that's something that was.
Even if you got 4.5, that should still hit.
Yeah, you're still good there. The Texans are at 4 wins, so we need a couple L's from them. McCaffrey's not going to get there, clearly.
Yep.
Broncos to miss the playoffs. How are we looking on that?
We're right on the cusp of that one. They're in the wild card hunt, but as we talked about in our breakdowns, they got Drew Lock today. They got a bunch of guys out, so hopefully, they follow through for us and lose these next couple of games and miss out on the playoffs. I'll pull up the standings. Justin, is there anything here that you want to point out?
Just disappointed that we picked CMC for comeback player of the year. We should have known better. This dude is fragile. Never gonna do anything with him again. A lot of people in the fantasy leagues drafted him first overall. They're disappointed. I'm done with CMC. I'm even out on him. Screw that kid.
And you know what?
Screw that kid.
As you can tell, I picked him in a few fantasy leagues. So
and with all the Cowboys fans that we have on the show, 3 of them, I'm surprised we didn't go Dak.
It's because we thought that it was like the too obvious pick. I think that's what it was. Like we just stayed away from the obvious pick. Like his odds, I think, were the shortest at the time. He was a favorite.
There's salt.
And we're like, let's take somebody who's not the favorite at this
He was
point.
plus 900.
Yeah. So we're like, let's take McCaffrey. But like Ben just said, Dak he ran away with it. So yeah.
Hey, but for the most part, I mean, the CMC one loss, that's plus 900. You should have been throwing a crazy amount on it. And other than that, the only other one that's going to lose is the Ravens. Everything is still live or pushed so far, so not bad.
Fucking win.
And the Broncos right now, they stand at 13th in the AFC. They're 7-8. They're tied with the Browns at 7-8. They're below the Steelers, the Ravens, the Raiders, and the Chargers. All of those teams are also out of the playoffs. That's 8-13.
And they should take an L today. Wally, I like that play, man. First half team total for the Chargers. 13.5.
2 touchdowns gets you there.
Hey, looking back, is there any future that we talked about that you wish we could have taken? I think us not taking the Cowboys to win the division was just like right in our face and easy as hell, and we just passed up on it for some reason.
Well, the thing is, we did take it. Most of us, I think, only one of us took Washington. The only thing is we didn't make it an official consensus play.
Yeah, I ended up taking. I didn't take it preseason. I'll say that I took it in the middle of the season. I got them at like minus 140, at one point in the season. I think it's
Oh,
when they had
Joseph.
dropped a couple games, and they ended up cashing that bet for me. I'm trying to think of one that we talked about. Maybe like the Jags season total under
7.5. Looking back at it,
that one was probably pretty easy. I think we gave too much respect maybe to Trevor Lawrence and maybe what we thought Urban Meyer was going to be.
yeah.
But yeah, that was probably the one.
Shout out to me. It wasn't an official play, but I said Mac Jones was gonna fucking be the best rookie quarterback coming out. I didn't put money on it, but
You did say that. You
I
did.
do have a future on Mac Jones plus 800 to win Rookie of the Year.
He's
And
at
now
minus 300, right?
no, I got him at plus 800.
No, I'm saying he's minus 300. I checked this week or something like that.
Oh, I had seen him at 600.
Oh shoot. Okay.
But also, what I was going to say is we were all pretty low on the Steelers, and we didn't have a play on them, maybe to miss playoffs the way we did with the Broncos or something like that. Like we said, like Ron mentioned earlier, Big Ben, this could be his last home game this week. They got a game against the Browns at home. Tough division matchup, but man, for the Steelers, we were all pretty low on them. I think we picked them to come last in that division, and we didn't make a play on them, which I thought was a missed opportunity as well.
yeah, shout out to Diego and Wally for their quarterback for the last 30 years is finally going to retire after this year. So
have something else to look
So
forward
you think
to.
he's retiring for sure, not maybe going somewhere else, anything like that?
He's done. Like, what if you're a team? Do you go out and say, "Oh, I want to go get Big Ben as my starting quarterback right now"? What?
Probably
I think
not.
if you're a team, like let's say Aaron Rodgers does leave the Packers, just throw it out there. That happens. Jordan Love's not your guy. You just have Ben Roethlisberger 1 year to hold you off to get to the next guy.
No.
I don't know. I'm just saying if he's not fully retiring, maybe something like that. But that's a rare case scenario. It doesn't look good. It's not like I'm predicting that to happen. I'm just saying if it's going to be something, it'd be something like that.
You just said Jordan Love wasn't their guy, but they all think that Packers, you know,
Apparently
their
they do.
front office think that Jordan Love is their guy. Based on
I don't know if they still feel that way after they saw him play that one game that Rodgers had to sit out. I don't know if that's still the case.
Based on what the player has said, and that being Big Ben, I think he does intend to continue playing. He did say that he believes his time as a Steeler quarterback is coming to an end, but that's where he left it at. He didn't say his time as an NFL quarterback was coming to an end. So he's probably still going to want to play. And honestly, I'm not saying he's been playing lights out, but I'm not ready to like say that he's been the reason why they've sucked either. I'm just saying there's some team.
I agree, Roland. There's
some things wrong with that team, bro. That I mean, Ben Roethlisberger.
What's wrong with that fucking team?
I mean, they look. Let's just go back. They drafted Najee Harris instead of shoring up the offensive line. And what has Najee Harris really done for them down the stretch? What we have seen is Big Ben fighting for his fucking life week in and week out because the offensive line can't block anybody.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm saying I think the most of the problem is. Does it help that Big Ben is on his last leg? No, it does not help. But I'm not ready to go out and say that Big Ben is the sole reason why the Steelers are where they are. I think there's a lot more that goes into it than that.
I mean,
let me ask y'all a question: Big Ben or Matt Ryan right now?
Yeesh, that's a good question. I think they're pretty
that's
much
why
the same.
I asked it, pal.
They're pretty much the
That's
same
a good
guy.
question, Ben.
It's Matt Ryan, no doubt about it, bro.
There was some stretches where Matty Ice looked like he was back.
Yeah.
But
there hasn't been a stretch where Big Ben looks like he's back. I'll tell you that right now.
But then again, I guess Matt Ryan.
If you're a team like Denver right now who has Drew Lock, you know, or you're a team like the Saints,
That's what I'm saying. A one-year hold-off thing to get to the next guy.
Or if you're the Saints who are calling up Drew Brees to come out the booth,
that's crazy. That's actually
and then maybe like, you know, with this whole COVID thing too, you know, you see it happening in the NBA. I don't know if it could happen in the NBA, in the NFL, where you get like 10-day contracts or some shit. So you guys coming out
of retirement for 10-day.
Yeah. I mean, you had the Colts reaching out to, you know, Rivers because they didn't want to start Sam Ellinger. So,
but it's mostly
I mean, it's possible
that those guys have played for because that they have chemistry with. You know what I mean?
Right. So I'm saying like, if you have to go to that extreme to say that Big Ben's going to be on a team, then you might as well just say he's done in the NFL.
Yeah, he's done. Chop that shit up. Yeah.
I mean, Big Ben's, and
let's make a little friendly bet that he plays next year somewhere.
Just for stats, Big Ben's and Matt Ryan's stats are pretty much identical. Big Ben has 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Matt Ryan has 19 and 11. He has about 150 more passing yards than Big Ben. So it's pretty close. That's all I'm gonna say.
That was a pretty good question. I mean, when you look at the stats and how mirrored they are.
Yeah,
It was either Jimmy Garoppolo or Big Ben or Matt Ryan or Big Ben. I didn't want to disrespect them that much and pin him up.
Now
against Jimmy.
I'll go with Jimmy G. Clearly,
Hell no.
No,
Nah, I'd go Big Ben over Jimmy.
Yeah, that's facts. Hey, but anything else? Y'all got anything else?
just make sure to say your fantasy lineups.
Yeah.
Don't forget, man.
good luck to all those in
Yeah.
Championship Sunday.
Good luck to
here,
everybody
man.
in the championship. Good luck to
We got
everybody in
the we
championship.
talking about Sports League Championship. We got Rick playing in the championship against Andrew Sanchez.
Okay.
Rick, you've been
Oh,
with us.
we gotta
You're on
give a
all of the
jersey out.
podcasts. We're looking for you to win, Rick. I didn't make it. Andrew beat me, but we're pulling for Rick. I went to his crib last week or 2 weeks ago to watch the game. He was wearing a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey. The guy needs a new jersey. I told him, hey, cuz I hope you win so we can get you that Debo Samuels jersey. So
Yeah,
Rick,
he had the Jimmy G on.
he had the Jimmy G on, and I was like, cuz, come on. He threw like 2 picks and cost him the fucking game
Yeah.
2 weeks ago when he was wearing it. You need
At
a
least
Debo
the
Samuels
Kittle,
jersey.
at least the Kittle jersey.
Not that I'm
At
going
least
against.
Kittle, yeah.
Not that I'm going against Rick here, man, but Andrew Sanchez really isn't in the chat. But dude, that's probably one of the nicest motherfuckers I've ever
He is
fucking met
nice.
in my life. Super nice, super positive, big smile.
Who,
He's always
Andrew?
gonna-
Yeah.
he's always Justice Diego. Fuck, no, I'm just kidding.
No, I didn't know you knew him.
Well, so what? Now I can't.
No, I just
can't
didn't know
people?
you knew him.
Just 'cause I have
Everybody knows
COVID?
Andrew Sanchez is a nice guy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
awesome.
the
Love
last
that
time I saw him was like in Vegas and like big hug. I think he had his Aaron Donald jersey on.
Yeah,
I think
big
that's
Rams
maybe
fan.
yeah.
He's been saying he wants a
First
Cooper
year.
Cup. He's been saying he wants a Cooper Cup jersey. That's what he's been
Yes.
texting me.
That's what
And
he's
I'm
going
like,
for.
yo, we're gonna get you that OJB jersey. You're not getting a Cooper Cup jersey, but he wants a Cooper Cup jersey.
Yeah. By the way, it's gonna be our choice of jersey or whatever you guys get. So player, you can pick the team, but we're gonna pick the player. We're gonna give you a
kicker.
fucking kicker or some shit. Yeah, we'll
Matt
get you
Gay.
a Big Ben jersey. Matt Gay.
Okay. Yo, if Andrew Sanchez wins, we're getting him the jersey, the Matt Gay jersey.
OJB.
Sure.
What about Rick? What about Rick? What are we getting Rick?
Rick,
He
we're
wants a
getting
Debo.
he wants a Debo Samuels
What's that,
jersey.
Debo?
Nah. I said, what are we getting him? Not what does he want?
No, he's getting a Debo Samuels. He's been down since day one, cuz he's gonna get
Yeah.
a Debo Samuels jersey.
Rick's always been in the comments, always watch our podcast. So yeah, and shout out to Rick. Hopefully he pulls off the victory.
Hey, it's OJB. It's never OBJ anymore. It's
There
OJB.
was a disclaimer that they're not they are going to be replica jerseys from Wish. So sorry. No, that's it, man. I'm done.
Yeah.
About
All
to
right.
take some
Well,
fucking
that's week
medicine.
17. If you guys have any other questions, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook. We'll be in the comments all the way up until kickoff. And thanks for you. This is it. This is our last, I guess, Sunday for fantasy football. We're
For
still going to be
fantasy,
doing
yeah.
Sunday. But thanks for riding with us through the fantasy football season. Hopefully, like Justin was saying, there's a lot of guys in the comments that are in the championships, and hopefully some of our advice has helped get you guys there.
Love to see it.
So yeah, if you guys have any championship victories, post them on our Twitter and Facebook too, and we'll post them up there. But that's it for me.
What
Go
shows do we
Cowboys!
got coming up, man? What shows do we got coming up? Y'all doing any shows? MMA, NBA. I know we did that NBA
Well,
one time, which
MMA's
was
on
pretty dope.
MMA's
so.
on break.
We planned on doing an MMA like end of the year awards. If anybody wants to join, whoever wants to be here for that, maybe like a fighter of the year, most boring fight of the year. We're gonna try and get a little fun with it for whoever watches MMA. But I think that we got to do something maybe prior to that national title game.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. On
in.
the 10th. National
And if
title
y'all could
game's
do
on
an
the 10th.
NBA,
And maybe we
call
can
it, Ron?
Thursdays we can go back to NBA.
The NBA pull-up.
Pull-up.
An NBA pull up. That y'all can run one of those. That'd be great.
Probably do an NBA
Yeah.
pull-up on Thursday. Got the NBA season hitting full swing. LeBron
Maybe a
James
little
just went
hockey.
off for what 43 and 14 last
It's gonna
night.
be on pause hockey with all the
Yeah.
COVID.
LeBron's got about 8 games of going 30 points or 30 points plus. So.
Yeah, went off last night. Or
That
New
team's
Year's Eve,
washed,
excuse
but
me.
LeBron's still good, man. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that much.
It's crazy. At 37 years old, it's ridiculous. But yeah, we got a lot coming your way. And the other thing I want to say is I want to start getting some of you guys in the comments up on screen with us too, like we did last year. We were doing a lot of that pretty much every week. We had a different person join us. So want to get back to that. So if you guys want to be on the pod with us for a segment or two, hit us up and we'll get it set up. But that's it for me.
Sounds good. I would like that.
Yeah, man. 11:20, boys. Don't forget to set the lineups, and we also might be putting plays along throughout the day on our Facebook or on our social pages. So
Yeah. Ron's really good about being active on the Facebook and social pages. So
I got
check
nothing
him
else
out
to do
on there.
today, so fuck.
All right, boys.
All right.
Good luck.
Later.
Peace.
Laters.